right, so I think we're live now. Let's check it out. Cool. It looks like we're live. Post that link into the chat on my Discord. All right. Hey, the one. Nice to have you here. Cool. I see we got some people trickling in. So what I'll be talking about today is mostly what to expect real quick for next week. And because of that, I will be looking a little bit at what we had last year because I think that gives us a good idea of what we're going to see for the April Fool's event. And so I will talk about that in just a little bit here. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer and then we're going to get right into it. Hey, Ron, nice to have you here. Appreciate you being able to come and hang out with me here. So, I mean, today's not going to be a super long stream, but it should be a good time. We're just going to hang out. If you have any questions, you want to see any teams or see anything like that, more than happy to answer your questions or, anyone else. So, feel free to let me know in the chat. I will be actively checking that out. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the Earth Titan event. I know I've gotten a lot of, positive feedback about the event. I've heard a lot of people saying, "Hey, I'm glad that we finally got it." Right? I know in our Discord channel we've been talking a little bit about the event, which is good, and I'm glad to hear that everyone's getting a good amount of rewards. It sounds like. I do, people have been asking, "Hey, do you recommend opening them all at once?" I definitely do. I definitely think you should hold on to them. I personally, on this account, have opened a bunch early. Then I opened, just a mass amount at other times. And I just find that I get better rewards when I open more at one time. Just a heads up. Hey, Thomas, nice to have you here. Thank you for stopping in and hanging out. Always glad to have you here. And so, with these guys, right, as I was talking about, I'll go ahead and open these 59 Mandrake roots. Let's see if I can get one or two more even, just so I can open them. I mean, most of you guys probably know what's in them, which is cool because it's mostly Titan potions, skin stone chests, or skin stones for your Titans, as well as, let's see. Then you get the second level, which is these, I believe they're flower, what are they called? Flower drakes. And then you have the last one, which, those ones always have Eden Soul Stones, which is huge. Hey, Dahlia, nice to have you here. Thank you for coming in and joining the live stream. So, yeah, I haven't done too much on this account today. I mean, we did have a war. I actually don't even know how it turned out because it's been a crazy day. But yeah, today won't be a super long stream. I will be talking about, the event that we've just had right now, as well as the event that I expect us to have next weekend, right? Which I believe will be so let me just pull it up right now. We'll go straight into that. That's going to be probably the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about anyway. So we'll just switch over right now. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Hey, Wally, nice to have you here. And so, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to just double check here on my screen that you can. And basically, what we have here is last year's, April Fool's event. And I double checked my vid because I made one for last, April 1st, right? So, what we had basically three heroes that were featured, right? So we had Ching Mao, Chaba, and Cornelius. And what also happened simultaneously was we had 3 brand new skins. And so those 3 brand new skins were associated with these 3 heroes, and they were all masquerade skins. So that's what I'm predicting we will see next weekend. We'll see 3 new heroes that will be featured, right? You can get soul stones in these different chests, right? And basically we'll have 3 brand new masquerade skins. So that's what I'm expecting us to see next weekend, right? So you have the typical daily login where you get 300 energy, right? Cool status, where basically if you have VIP, you get these mini skinstone chests. I think they're kind of not as great because they only have 10 in them, but it's for VIP, so nothing too big there. Stocky furry, I think that's just because of the heroes that they had going on there. But basically, they want you to purchase emeralds. I'm not going to talk about that one too much. Catwims, again, just spending emeralds and you get these chests. And when you get these chests, like, right, they're going to feature, you can pick one of the 3 heroes that are featured. In search of goodies, we know all of that. We know most of that as well. So basically, it's going to be very similar to the event that we had where we had the 3 female warriors, right? So I'm trying to think of the exact name of that event, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Where we just had it. It was like the 3 heroines, where basically all 3 of the females were very strong characters in Hero Wars, and they all had, I believe, new skins as well. But anyway, so we're expecting to have 3 new characters. Well, not 3 new characters, but 3 characters with masquerade skins, right? So masquerade skins, as you guys know, will be, let's see, I think Faceless has one. Oh, we just pressed you on accident. We will go back and we will click on Faceless here. So Faceless has a masquerade skin already, so it's not going to be Faceless. But there you can see the masquerade skin, right? And last year we had Qingmao, Chaba, and Cornelius. So it will be interesting to see who we get. I know we have Ju already slated to be the hero of the month next month because that is what the community voted for. And I hope some of you guys are excited if you don't already have Ju Absolute. Ju's a phenomenal hero. I personally didn't have a strong affinity, so I actually didn't even vote because I thought all the heroes are good. Doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, so that is what I'm expecting us to see next weekend, which will be that April Fool's event where we have 3 brand new masquerade skins and we'll have 3 heroes that are going to be featured. So that is what I'm expecting us to see. Let's see, Righteous Growth here. So this is the Earth Titan event. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying the event. Feel free to let me know your thoughts as well. I mean, I personally think this is a great event for players who maybe don't have Eden, or newer players who are still trying to get Eden to Absolute. I actually think Eden is one of the top heroes in the game. And that's also probably why one of the reasons why when I first made my initial team, right, I went straight to Earth, and Earth was the team that I decided to create. Earth is also typically deemed, right, I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but it's deemed the most effective team for Guild Wars. Mobile is getting Thea, Judge, and Helios. Okay, I think there's a strong likelihood we might see those 3 heroes then. I'm a little behind on mobile, I'm not going to lie. So I'm still working right now on mobile. Mobile's getting a brand new character. And now I'm blanking on his name. I want to say, I just don't want to be wrong. I know mobile's getting a brand new character. I should know this already. I looked at it for a while here. Let me see. Hero Wars, Facebook Mobile. I want to say his name is Tristan, but I don't want to be wrong either. They're going to get a brand new hero, which I think is interesting because now Mobile has 2 different heroes that Facebook does not. So they have Alvanor and we have Isaac. They do not have Isaac, but they have Tristan, which I believe is this guy here. Okay, well now I don't see where it has his name on here, but I'm pretty sure this dude's name was Tristan. I'm working on a video right now to basically get into that for mobile players. But I will get into that a little bit later, and once I have a lot more data on it, I will share it with everyone. And so it'll probably be a mobile themed video, but it might apply. I mean, we had Yasmin on Facebook and web well before Yasmin was introduced into the mobile scene. I think most players choice Jew to keep players from not having the most important heroes like Celeste or Martha. I think, hey, that's definitely a possibility. I think I personally would have liked to see Martha get picked because I think Martha is the hardest to get out of the heroes that I saw that were available. Um, but anyway, yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Jew's good. I think part of the reason Jew might have gotten picked was just because of that birthday cake event, and a lot of players still didn't have Jew. But who knows? Who knows? But I hear you, Wally. I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Anyway, okay. So going back to this event here, we will be opening this free chest here because I haven't done that yet. Okay. And yeah, so I actually really like this Righteous Growth event. I'm going to go ahead and open these real quick. And I love those Titan Skin Stones are exactly what I still need a lot of. So those are the things that I like to see. I mean, Titan Potions don't do anything for me. Neither really do any of the Mandrake roots. Sadly, they just don't do anything for me. So, I mean, or Mandrake flowers, excuse me. They just don't do anything for me. So I really the only thing that I really like out of this event for me personally is going to be the skin stones. There we go, 300. Need those. Good point. That can be the reason for it. Yeah, I think part of it too is just the timing that they put that poll out there was it was right after that birthday event and like people just didn't have Jew available. I was getting a lot of questions about it, especially from newer players who didn't have Jew. Maybe weren't super familiar with Guild Wars or even the Guild Wars shop, which can definitely make it a little bit more difficult when acquiring Jew. So I think that could be part of it. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so we got some sparks here. I'm working on Chaba right now because I know we've talked about this before, but Chaba is really one of the only decent counters that I've seen to Aurora so far. The new hero looks cool. He is definitely a support control hero. I definitely think he looks cool. My only concern is he might be really OP. When they put out Alvanor on mobile, he was not OP at all. He was very tame. I thought he would be better. But we'll see what happens. And I don't know if you guys saw that. I mean, I did make a video on it, but the Arachne update, in my opinion, I was like, you basically made Arachne worse. And I am working on a tier list, but I think Arachne might be one of the worst characters in Hero Wars now that she's been reverted to a magic attacker. Like, I don't know, she was better as a physical attacker, and some of these skills just don't make sense to me. They really don't. I would surely choose Martha if I should choose one without looking at what soul stones I already have. I think that's fair enough. Hey, Unknown, nice to have you here. Hey, Brian, nice to have you coming in as well. I guess I can go back real quick and reopen up what I had there. So, just a real quick recap for you guys who missed it. What I expect to have next week is going to be an April Fool's event, right? And so these are some of the older events that we had. Let me find it. Here we go. So basically what the April Fool's event, in my opinion, will entail is there's going to be three heroes featured, excuse me. And basically it will be very similar to the three heroines event. We'll have 3 brand new masquerade skins. That's going to be my quick hot take on that, and just a quick, recap of what I talked about in terms of the event that I think we might see. I did go into a little bit more, I just kind of clicked on all these, but that's what I'm expecting us to see. I know Wally said potentially we might have Thea, Judge, and Helios. If that's the case, Helios will be a huge pickup for a lot of players. And the reason I say Helios is because almost everyone I know uses Yasmin at some level, right? So whether Yasmin is used on their main team, on their second team in Grand Arena, or as a development character, I just feel like a lot of people are using Yasmin with good reason because Yasmin's a very good hero. And so I think, Helios will be a big commodity if those 3 heroes are the heroes that do get Masquerade skins and are featured for next week. Again, I guess it's subject to change. We might not have an April Fool's event, but knowing Hero Wars and their trends, I would say it's very likely we will indeed have a very similar event. And it's very possible that we get the same exact heroes with skins from mobile that we do on Facebook and web. Okay, so with that all being said, I do need to do a couple things here. I need to do this spin. And let's see. So we got some Titan artifacts. Still working on our Titans, right? We're not neglecting them. You have now I got all 3 on max stars. Awesome. Congratulations. Hi, Abdes. I'm going to pronounce your name so wrong. I apologize. Mr. Benzardi, nice to have you with us here. I appreciate you coming. Oh, and here are the boxes I was actually talking about. So it's the spring event, right? The heroine event, right? We had Daredevil, Arachne, and Ziri just recently. So I still have 13 boxes from that. But, it's going to be very similar, I think. Okay, so going to our Titans because that's what we're working on here. Let's see. Okay. So I believe, let's go ahead and take a look at the Titans that we have. I believe Araji is done. Yep, so that one team's completely done. We're working right now on Hyperion skins. And we're going to go ahead and level him up a little bit here. And we're able to get pretty far. So we got him up to level 27 out of 60. Not bad, not bad. Always, can do more, but not bad at all. And we will check out Titan Valley. Alvinor is somewhat OP, but not among himself, but among the elves, which are Aurora, Kai, Darkstar, Thea. Arachne is still good for the fact that her stuns last long, so need fast killing heroes. Fair enough, but I feel like a lot of the faster killing heroes are not magic attack heroes. And given the fact that Isaac is the biggest problem and that Arachne was a really good solution to Isaac because of her physical attack capabilities, by making her a magic attack hero, it just kind of fuels Isaac a little bit more. And for me, it lessens Arachne's value because her hyper jump could occasionally take out Isaac altogether. And now it just doesn't seem to work as well. That's just my hot take. Regarding the elves, okay, so on mobile, there is a faction called Elves. And what Wally here is talking about is Aurora, Kai, Darkstar, Thea, and Alvinor. My opinion of the elves is that as a collective, they're not that good. I do think Aurora is still decent on mobile. She's not as good as Facebook or web because she doesn't get energy for every time she dodges. Still very good against magic attackers, but shaky. Then Kai, it's been improved, but I still don't love his offensive capability. Darkstar, though, on mobile is crazy good. Very, very strong hero. Does a lot more damage because of the rework. I'm a big fan of Darkstar on mobile. Thea, decent, right? Nothing super special in my opinion. But has that silent skill, not bad. Alvinor, I don't know, just doesn't have enough defensive anything in my opinion. Very similar to Corvus in the fact that has some upside, but not enough in my opinion to make them a mainstay in my roster. Okay, Jew is good to use against Seymour, so that might be why people want him. That's fair enough too. I think Jew is really, in my opinion, the only way to go against Seymour. I know, with Yasmin now, maybe it's a little bit easier. I know people have been using Chang Mao with Yasmin, which can definitely help. But overall, I'm a big believer in Jew against single bosses. It's crazy to see how much damage Jew can deal. Really, it's just like he's not conscious. The dude is unreal when it comes to battling those single bosses. And yes, you're right. I think it's possible that a lot of players late in game still don't have Jude Absolute because Guild War trophies are very useful for a lot of different things. You need them for skins. You need them for heroes, right? And maybe Jude wasn't a top priority for you because Yasmin's here now. For me particularly, I don't use I only need Titan Skin Stones now. So I pretty much go like this every single time I get any of these metals. I only need Titan Skin Stones. So maybe we can get Hyperion up to level 28. Thank you for reminding me about that. I don't know why I forgot about that, but that's cool. Let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and do Hyperion here. Skins level 28. Oh, we can do one more. 29. So we're getting there. We still got a long ways to go before we're done with all these guys, right? It's looking a lot better though, right? So progress check real quick. We got our main team done. We got Hyperion done. We finished off, right? So we got all of these guys to absolute for Moloch recently. I got this one 2 days ago on Moloch. I finished the Ragni's Hammer. And so the next project for me will be going probably to, I don't know. I was debating whether I should go to Sigurd or if I should go continue with the fire team and focus on maybe like Ignis, and work on the Fire Crown, which I think I'm going to do, or Vulcan's Fire Crown, and just try to kind of, get those finished, and then, finish a fire team, then go back to the water team. But I'm not sold on any of that yet. Just thinking out loud. And then we have certificate exchange, right? And this is something for me that is really cool. I really love the fact that you can get Sebastian Soulstones here as well as Invari. So these certificates, in my opinion, have extreme value because all four of these heroes are phenomenal. And I personally think Sebastian's the best hero in the game for all purpose, right, reasons. And then we have Kark, who's elite attacker, and you have Envari, who is an elite defender against Kark. So, a lot of upside here. Nebula is just a good all-around support. My main Titan team is Earth with a 2-tiered totem. Fire is my weakest, but just got a 3rd totem for fire. Should I switch my focus to fire? All right, so that's a loaded question there, Gary. Let me put it this way. If Earth is your main team and you've invested a lot in your Earth team, right? And let's say it's 100K stronger than your fire team, I would say stick to mainly focusing on your Earth team. Once you get your Earth team all to a point where they're all level 140, right, and focus on Araji too. So basically you would want a similar formation to what I have, and you want to get all of these guys to level 120. Once that happens, then I would start leveling up your Fire Titans, right, in terms of levels. And when we're talking about the artifacts for your team, I would say it's up to you at that point, depending on how deep you are into the Earth squad, right, versus your Fire squad. I think that's going to be a factor. I don't think it's smart to just completely transition because you probably have a lot invested. But if you don't, then it's probably a little bit easier for you. But I'm going to guess that you have a lot invested in your Earth team already. So I would say stick with your Earth team for the most part, but slowly, maybe slowly start also working on your Fire team. Just, stick with your main team, but also slowly get it to the point where your Fire team is improving as well. And so that's my opinion, Gary. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, let me know. I can definitely elaborate. But I definitely think sticking with your main team for now, even though I realize you have a stronger fire totem, but if for some reason your fire totem becomes a 4-star, it might be time to start thinking about transitioning over. But it's really hard. I mean, at that point, it's like, 2 versus 4-tier Titan totem is kind of a big difference. It also depends on what level your totem is leveled up to, because let's say you have a level 1, 3-star totem versus a level, 2-star totem that's absolute. Your level 2-star totem that is level 120. I would stick with the level 2 120 over a, 3-star, 3-star level 40, for example. It just depends on where you're at. So there's a lot of factors involved there. But personally, I think sticking with your main one because you've probably invested a lot more into it. But then slowly raising up your fire team as well so that it doesn't get left behind because you don't want to, fall too far behind in dungeon. as well as the fact that ultimately a fire team is very, very useful when it comes to battling against tough opponents, especially earth teams, right? Okay. How much money have you invested into emeralds to get all the titans that high? So it's definitely been a combination. I think for me, a lot of it has been using my emeralds at the right time. So I've been very picky about when I use my emeralds and how I use them. So let's see. So I guess the best way to explain this would be when I made all my heroes absolute or all my titans absolute. I first did that during Winterfest round 1, and that was 2 years ago. That was 2 Winterfests ago is when I made all my titans absolute. So that's when I used most of my emeralds. I had almost 0 emeralds coming out of that. I didn't use emeralds for a long time after. Um, and I was also able to, because of how many, fireworks and stuff like that I was able to use, I also was able to get a 4-star totem for my earth totem. I mean, I don't know what happened, but I got 0 fire and 0 water. I think I just had super crazy good luck. I ended up having a 4-star earth totem, even though I had none of these other ones. So that was last Winterfest. Then this Winterfest, I was able to. I pulled 1 water totem and a fire totem from spheres, free spheres, throughout the time. From last Winterfest. Yeah, so Winterfest 2 years ago to Winterfest this past year, and then from there, I was able to use a lot of emeralds to basically finish it off. Some of it was definitely pure luck, but I also, I would get emeralds when there was a times 4 sale usually, and then I try not to use them at all. And then for that, that's what I used for my totems. But in terms of the titans themselves, right? So when we're looking at these, the level, I actually didn't spend much money at all on the levels because I was able to just from, collecting and amassing circle of summoning spheres, right? And then using them, you can go to the merchant and then you can get Titan potions. So I kept doing that over and over again. And since I've been playing for almost 2 years, for me, I was able to do it pretty quickly, especially because in Dungeon 2, we usually get about all 10 almost every day. Plus, I get 2, 3 actually right away from Valkyrie's Favor, plus, my dungeon runs. So hopefully that kind of helps. I mean, some of it was definitely emeralds. I mean, I would say the totems was like almost 99%. Well, I got 3 or 4 totems for free from the Altar of Elements using the free summoning spheres, but a lot of my emeralds went to the elemental spirits, and not much of it went into the titans themselves because I knew that the totems would take a lot longer for me if I didn't use emeralds on them. I hope that makes sense. I realize you're kind of saying like how much money is invested, but I couldn't give you an exact dollar amount because I don't really know. But I know that I like almost all of the emeralds that I used went straight to Titan Valley, and I don't think I spent money almost anywhere else. With the exception of I know when I got really close to red +2 for my Kark. I got to red +1, and then I did definitely use one time. The one time I used merchant to get red +2 because that was a really distinct time I used them on my heroes. I usually don't use titans on my hero or emeralds on my heroes, so most of my emeralds went invested in my titans right there. Anvari, Kira, Ju, Martha Celeste, try that against Seymour. It's a killer team. I actually believe you. The only thing that won't do any good for me personally is my Kira sucks. My Kira does. I'm sure yours is way better than mine, if I'm being honest. And the reason I say my Kira sucks is because I just haven't had time to get around to her because um, I've kind of been in this mode where I'm like, I'm really focusing on Kark as my centerpiece. And I had to work on Jude to be able to beat Seymour. And from there, my next target for attackers is going to be the twins. So I'm working on all these guys. And so Kira, for me, sadly, is kind of below some of these other heroes that I'm working on. Like, I feel like for me personally, I'm going to work on Yasmin and Satori even before I get to Kira. I think Kira's a great hero. Nothing wrong with Kira. Just personally, I wouldn't be able to beat Seymour with my Kira because my Kira sucks. But I do like this team. I think Anvari, Kira, Ju, Martha, and Celeste would be a very good team. What pet would you probably go with? I personally think potentially Oliver, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe you'd have to go with Albus depending on if you have enough survivability there. But I think that's a solid team, Renee. I just personally wouldn't be able to do it. Good question, Gary. My team is Earth 2 start, and I just got my third water fragment. So, yeah, Brian, I'm going to go ahead and say very similar thing with what I said with Gary there. I would say stick with your Earth team unless your water team's super close in terms of power, then go for your water team. But I personally think Earth team is a little bit better than water team, if I'm being honest, in the long run. The water team's amazing for dungeon runs. There's no dispute on that one. Amazing for dungeon runs. But in terms of, Guild Wars, I personally think the Earth team's a little bit better. Just a little bit. So I hope that helps. Gary, I think you should not. Fair enough. Hey, what did I miss? So surprise, this is going to be my third time kind of recapping it, but I think next weekend we will be having a April's Fool's event. We're going to have 3 heroes featured. It's very potentially likely that we have Thea, Judge, and Helios as the masquerade, April Fool's heroes that are going to be featured. And usually it'll be very similar to that heroine event, right, where we had Arachne, Daredevil, and Ziri. And they also had brand new spring skins. I think it's very likely we'll have 3 brand new masquerade skins for Thea, Judge, and Helios. We'll see if that actually is what happens, but I think it's very likely. So other than that, we've been talking a little bit about, Titans, Titan teams, Titan formations, what to do with different totems and new fragments coming to light. So a lot going on there. That's kind of what we're talking about. Pet is Albus to that Seymour team. I agree. I mean, yeah, I think, Martha's, or wait, no, let's see. Oliver's good, but I do think that you're right. Like we were talking about there, Albus is better just because you need to deal a lot of damage when we're talking about Seymour. We also talked about Ju being the new hero that's going to be the hero of the month, right? In terms of, and here you can see I've been slacking on my logging in, right? We are on the 27th, and I've only logged in 25 times. Slight tear there because I'm going to miss out on these free spheres. I kind of still need them, so that's really sad, but it is what it is. Class has been, very busy right now, but, it's nice to hang out with you guys, and so I'm glad that you guys are here with me right now. All right, so that's kind of what we have there. Let's see. I definitely need to collect my Outland, and that's another thing, too, with Outland, right? So Outland has some different heroes that you really need to focus on, which for me has also been slowing down my progress on my main teams. Because I'm trying to work right now on Astrid and Lucas, who is amazing against I think it's Vadhar, but the Incinerator, right? So really good against him. On mobile, I can smoke him with Lucas and Astrid alone. But my Lucas and Astrid here is not very strong. And given my main lineup here, this is just not a good recipe. Like, I lose this one like 10 out of 10. Anvari will protect Kira some. I think Anvari is a very, I don't want to say underrated because I think he's properly rated. But I think Anvari is a huge, huge asset. I mean, I'm facing a tough opponent here. But I definitely think Anvari for me is like one of my favorite heroes. I mean, he is my favorite hero. I've been saying that since he came out. I like the way he looks. I like his skills. On mobile, he's even better, which is crazy. But yeah, so, that's one thing I'm working on here is going to be Lucas and Astrid. Let's see. Yeah, Astrid and Lucas is, one of the projects that I'm working on here. It's just going to take a little while. I need to get, artifacts. I just got so much going on with, leveling up all of these different heroes. It's wild right now when it comes to beating these guys, but this is probably like my next project for the end of the year, if I can. I want to get as close to beating all of the Outland bosses. And once I can get Astrid and Lucas there, I'll be able to finish that part of it. And when we're... Oh my goodness, did I just spend 10 emeralds? I did, didn't I? Oh well, might as well take advantage of it. That was an accident, but it is what it is. They probably won't be them since I haven't named Mobile. Judge should be getting his rework at the same time, so I don't expect them to use those three heroes since Hero Wars never mentioned it. Here's the thing with Hero Wars Facebook and web, they're not going to mention what event's coming up until closer to event time. So I'm not expecting a response, or not a response, but I'm not expecting any info to come out regarding the event until Tuesday or Wednesday. And usually, that's just how Hero Wars is. They like to, give you very little time. I say very little, but they don't give you too much time to prep for events, which is fair. Mobile's very much about getting those events known. Mobile's getting artifacts added, so that is a thing. How is my energy today, Justin? Hey, Onegro, nice to have you here. My energy is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I am definitely looking forward to watching some March Madness after my live stream. There's a big game starting later tonight in about an hour, so I definitely will be watching that later tonight. Um, but yeah, definitely excited about how March Madness is going. It's been very fun. There's a lot of upsets going on there. Right now in my school life, right, we have, I'm working on real estate stuff. So I just had, I had this exam. Well, I guess it's like more of a hypothetical than an exam, but a hypothetical where basically, I was asked to look at different commercial properties and basically walk a client through the process. So that was very interesting. That's something I've been working on this week. Another thing that I have is a test on basically moral ethics. It's called the MPRE. It's a little exam I have coming up on Monday. So I've been trying to focus on that. So, definitely, trying to keep up high energy, but I think next week I might be a little bit dead, but we're hanging in there. So thank you for asking. Um, the feeding will begin soon after the Titan event. I'm so stoked for you, Onegro. I know you've been waiting for this Earth Titan event for a long time, and finally we got it. Also, in case you missed it, I will say it one last time. I think next week we will have a April Fool's event, which will feature 3 heroes. We don't know exactly what they're going to be. We have a guess, but it's not for sure, and we very likely will have 3 brand new masquerade skins as well. Just throwing that out there. But I'm proud of you for collecting a bunch of these mandrake roots, and I hope that you get very good rewards. And I said this before, I'll say it one more time, but I think, holding on to these mandrake roots and opening them in a big grouping typically just seems to drop better rewards. That's my opinion. I now I don't do that, but on my baby account, right? So I have a baby account on 51, which is level 130, but it's definitely much weaker than this account. I'm still holding on to these. I'm still um, playing it very safe and conservative. Whereas here, I just kind of tend to open things up, and so I can make videos. I can do different things here. But yeah, I definitely say it's a huge thing to be able to open them in mass and get a lot of good rewards. So I hope that works out for you. Yeah, I get that point, but the chance to get the rework they are giving Judge on Facebook and web wouldn't be possible, especially since we don't have a Daredevil rework. Let me check out Daredevil. I actually don't think Daredevil's that bad, but it's possible that I missed something here. Let me double check. I think Daredevil did get a rework, and I'm going to need to double check this. Explosion. I want to say this was a... Yeah, I believe Daredevil did get a rework. I don't think Judge has. And for me, I personally right now think Judge might be the least helpful hero. Least used, least everything, honestly. I have not seen him used effectively yet. Magic defense. Very defensive hero. Doesn't seem to do a lot of damage. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing a whole lot in Judge that really impresses me. And I don't know. We'll see. I definitely think it's time for him to maybe... I think Hero Wars Facebook web needs to check out Judge. Maybe consider a rework. I know they are on mobile. That's going to happen. But I'm just saying, definitely think it's a thing. Hey, Reflexion, bonjour. Nice to have you here. Okay. Dead next week too. Well, I spent a lot last few days, so I'm gonna lay low a bit. Hey Renee, I respect that and I understand exactly where you're coming from. I definitely think I'm right there with you, buddy. I'm right there with you, buddy. I don't even need to think. I know I am. So Ionis here says, I got the same opinion about the opinions, Jay. I think it would works better that way. For sure, for sure. No, she got the spring skin and she is different on mobile. I'm gonna have to open up my mobile now. Give me a second here. Oh, let me see. Okay, Daredevil. Let's see here. Daredevil. Daredevil. Where are you at? So they did change a couple things on mobile, but I know that we had a rework on Facebook as well. Um, this is really weird to me because I know we had a rework last year with Daredevil, because Firelight was not a skill that Daredevil had. Neither was Discharge. And here I can definitely see that there's some different skills. Um, I will say that Daredevil, just a brief look at the skills here, looks stronger on mobile. But I'm not sure that we will get a rework on Facebook because she's still really good. Even though I realize what you're saying here, and that she is better on mobile. I'm not debating that. I just think that Judge is a higher priority and need of a rework than Daredevil. I think Daredevil's still usable. Judge right now, in my opinion, is not usable. I don't know. Judge is still a no go for me too. Fair enough. Hey Melissa, nice to have you here. How's it going? It's going pretty well. I guess I should just echo what I've been saying. So one thing that I'm expecting to see next week is a April Fool's event. We might have 3 heroes that are going to be featured, very similar to the 3 heroines that were featured for spring, that spring event. And basically, I'm expecting to see 3 new masquerade skins. Hot take. Other than that, we've been really talking about different stuff within this Titan event right now that we've been having, as well as debating some, why Ju has been a popular hero that, ultimately got picked for the Hero of the Month, as well as right now we're talking about Daredevil and some of the differences between mobile and Facebook and web, and how I think Judge is still in more need of a rework than Daredevil. Hot take. I also do not like the Arachne rework. I think that's a pretty good rundown of some of the things we talked about. But yeah, overall, I'm doing great. Happy to be here with you guys. I will probably just be doing a couple more tasks here, and just chilling. So hopefully you are doing well as well, Melissa. I hope you are. And I hope everyone is doing well. I realize, you know, everyone's starting to get some COVID shots, which is good because that means hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be able to eventually start reopening. I'm not going to say right away, but eventually, right? And hopefully we get back to some sense of normalcy. Although for me, COVID has definitely become a lot more normal, just as, the more we've been in it. I don't know. You tell me what you think as well, because I don't know. Some of my friends have been telling me like they're ready to get outside. Some people have been telling me they like the fact that we're able to work from home, do stuff from home. I don't know. I think there's pros and cons. Judge needs more stats, and change at least 1 or 2 abilities. I think Judge just doesn't deal enough damage, um, and is very defensive as a hero, which makes him very one-dimensional. And in a game where you need attack, right? So when you're talking about pet adventures, what do you need? You need attack. When you're talking about guild wars, what do you need? You need an attacker to be able to take down the opposing team. When you're in arena, what do you need? You need an attacker. And a lot of the attackers attack hard and fast. So like when we're talking about attackers, I'm talking about Yasmin, right? Deals a lot of damage, not very much health, but a lot of damage. And if you're waiting for Judge's skill to go off, or you're waiting for, too long, then Yasmin's going to destroy teams. I've seen it happen many, many times. I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with that. Okay. What are you thinking about Dante and Isaac teams? I'm on server 13. The top players use them. I think Dante is much improved, and I like the fact that he is very easy to obtain as a free to play player. So, can you give me an example of a team when you're talking about a Dante and Isaac team? Because I'd love to focus on specific teams against that, because I personally don't see too many Dantes because so many people are invested in other heroes on my server. So if you wouldn't mind sharing, I would be more than happy to try to test some teams out. But here is Dante and Isaac as a start, if you want. Leanne is the most fun hero in the game. I think Leanne is underrated, highly underrated. Phenomenal against magic attackers. I don't know if you've seen that one video I had, Renee, where Leanne literally took out an entire team by herself. I was amazed. I did a reaction video. It was crazy. If not, I can send you that video at some point. But yeah, no, Leanne is a very good hero. Is slept on, hypothetic or is slept on very realistically. I mean, I don't know how else to explain that, but she puts her foes to sleep, and she also is underrated. Sorry, yeah, there we go. Okay, so unknown. What team build are you talking about here? I'm assuming it's a physical attack team because Dante is a physical attacker, and Isaac is very strong when it comes to physical attack teams. I guess we can try Astaroth, maybe Nebula and Martha. I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me a little bit more what you're thinking about for these Dante Isaac teams because I don't know what formations are being used here. I will say, um, for me, when I see Dante, I think I need to get rid of him ASAP. And so, like, even if I were to use the twins, I would probably. I mean, I'm gonna use the default team that I usually use on my other account and see if it has any effect. I realize with Isaac, Magic teams typically don't do very well, but you can definitely overpower Isaac by almost giving him too much magic to deal with, which can be an issue. Let me find Sebastian here. Where's Sebastian at? There he is. Let's see how this works. I mean, I'm assuming we have a chance to lose here, but that's fine. I think Peppy is the most unpredictable hero. I love her so much. She will be on my new project team. I will make a new server for her. Fair enough. I definitely understand that. Peppy, I think, is one of the coolest heroes. She also has the ability to deal quadruple damage. So if the wrong hero gets hit with that, Peppy is super effective. I've seen Peppy single shot heroes all day, especially when Peppy is stronger than her opponents. So not the worst hero to focus on, I'll tell you that. Hey Ben, nice to have you here. Did you miss anything good? I think the best thing that I talked about so far, and I said it like a million times, and I apologize to everyone who's heard it, but I think the fact that we potentially could have an April Fool's event next weekend, 3 brand new Masquerade skins, I think that's probably the coolest thing, as well as those 3 same heroes being featured, and the potential to get soul stones for those heroes. So I think that's the biggest thing. Other than that, we've been talking about this past event that we've had and thoughts, and so far a lot of people seem to like it, which is good. And right now we're talking about this Dante Isaac combination and kind of looking at that. Just a second, checking it in the arena. Perfect, no problem at all there. Sebastian on enemy team and Leanne is countered. So she's pretty easy to counter with the right heroes. I agree with you, Renee. I definitely could see that being the case. Sebastian is the best hero in the game. Like I find it hard to count Sebastian out at any point right now on Facebook and web. On mobile, I don't want to say he sucks, but he's nowhere near as good as he is on Facebook and web. Server 20 crazy right now, soon to be the new 20. Fair enough. What is this? When is the server merger going down again? I'm going to have to double check because I don't even know off the top of my head. I'm going to look that up right now so that you don't have to. Facebook Hero Wars. And I saw a mention of that. We're going to go check it out right now, real quick. Shouldn't be an issue because I remember it was one of the newest posts. I think 6 and 20 were merging. Is that correct? Someone's going to have to confirm that. Okay. Yeah, so there's the Jew is the hero of April. Yep, got all this going on. Got boxy gifts. Don't miss out on boxy gifts if you haven't collected them. Let's see. Did I miss it? I don't think so. Oh, here we go. Important announcement on March 28th. So this will be tomorrow. They will merge 4 pairs of servers together: 21 and 6, 10 and 9, 14 and 13, 20 and 18. And so these servers will be merged tomorrow. It will happen between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. UTC. So my understanding is that will happen very shortly. And it's possible for those people on those servers to not have access to the game for a little bit because they are working on maintenance. Usually that also means you will get rewards if you are on those servers. So just a heads up, again, 21 will be merging with 6, 10 will be merging with 9, 14 with 13, 20 and 18. So those are things to look out for coming up, I think, later tonight. So just a reminder, in case you forgot. Okay, so here is the team that he was talking about. We will get back to this question by unknown. He had said Corvus, Dante, Corvus, Dante, Corvus. Really interesting. Okay, so Corvus, Dante, Isaac, Sebastian. Ooh, Isaac and Sebastian is a good combo. I really like that combo. Martha's a good hero. Dante. So they really went with an offensive tank here. Very interesting. Corvus is the worst hero for Kira users. Just saying. Never use Kira when you're facing Corvus. Dante. Okay. So my first thought is I want to see how ineffective Magic teams are against this type of team. So I typically, again, I like to use this as my model team when attacking with Magic attackers because this is a good start. This team is usually pretty strong. And it's Aurora, Twins, Celeste, and Sebastian. And the reason I like this team is because it's usually very strong against most average teams. So for me, it gives me a good baseline where I need to move. Woo, 13 and 14. Very good. Ionis says, merge of servers is so unfair. I don't get it. I think that's fair enough, Ionis, but I think part of it is the fact that a lot of players on those older servers, right, maybe they started playing the game and then they stopped playing the game. So there's not enough players to be competitive anymore. I think that is one thing that could be happening there. Another thing is the fact that, they probably think that some of the newer servers are very strong and have a lot of active players that are also capable of battling against those players who've been around longer who are stronger. Just my 2 cents. So I mean that's my optimistic way of putting it, and so that team got wrecked. So Magic teams will probably struggle against this team. Let me see. I remember. Let's see. I'm a big Kark believer. I also think Yasmin is very good against this type of team, but Yasmin might struggle if we're looking at Corvus. So I'm going to go with Kark because Kark and Corvus. Kark is really good against Corvus. I'm going to go ahead and go with Astaroth here. We're going to use Nebula. And I'm going to use Sebastian. And could go with Faceless for extra attack, but I think to be safe, I'm going to go with Martha. We'll see how this goes, and if this doesn't work out, I'll probably consider putting in Faceless. It's still unfair for the newer server. I agree. I do think that It is a little bit unfair that they're having these, newer players compete against older players. I agree it's unfair, but I also think Hero Wars wants to have a lot of activity on servers, so they don't want to have so many dead players on a server that you know aren't really doing anything on their accounts anymore. I hope that makes sense as well. And that's just my opinion. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't talked with Hero Wars about any of this, but I do agree with you that it's a little unfair, and I think um, it might be more beneficial if Hero Wars were to give, say a couple thousand emeralds at least to the newer server players. Um, just my hot take. I know that Hero Wars wouldn't want to do that, but you never know. If they would just let you move up or down on servers, you wouldn't need new servers till all servers are full. All about money for them. You know what? I think it's hard to disagree with that. Um, you know, I can't speak for sure, but I would probably tend to agree with you, Gary, that it probably is a financial move for them. Um, I don't know what the long term implications are on that. I don't. They want to cut their coaster their cost. They should do something else. I'm not disagreeing with any of you guys. I think I agree. Exactly. Yasmin triggers Corvus. Yeah, so I think using Kark is really the best move here. The problem will be knocking out Dante because of that dodge skill. As you can see here, we're not really having any problems dealing with the rest of the team. I think a pet will definitely ultimately make the ultimate difference here, but it looks like we might still be able to win. And we do just barely pull it off here with this team. So the team that I used was a team that I use here on this account. Um, Kark, Sebastian, Nebula, Martha, and Astaroth. And I think pets will help you beat this team faster. Just to give you an idea. Hi, mate. Huge thumbs up for your work. Thank you so much. I try my best to, have as concise info as possible. I don't really like making long videos. I know 10-minute videos are really popular on YouTube because that's where you get the most ad revenue. I get it. So, a lot of people make 10-minute videos plus. I personally don't like doing that. It just takes too long. So I hope, I hope they're short enough. And I'm glad that you're finding the information very helpful. I definitely want to do as much as I can to spread info to help all players in Hero Wars have a more enjoyable time. And I'm glad that they're helping you out. 4 weeks reward. I won't be surprised if my server is next since my server is falling off. Well, Wally, hopefully that doesn't happen to you, but if it does, I still think you have a pretty good team. You have some good advantages, and you have a decent Hero Wars knowledge already, good base, right? So if Hero Wars were to throw that at you, I think you would do just fine. Let me put it that way. Well, my server just got a new boost of players from other servers, so I'm down 5 places in ranking. I hate that. I think that's fair enough, Renee. I think we had, and this usually happens to me in Hero Power, so I think we had 10 new players join because I was getting real close to 50. And recently, I want to say I moved down 10 spots yesterday, and I also noticed that we have a brand new guild on our server. And I mean, I don't focus too much on Hero Power anyway, but the fact that I got knocked down 4 spots in Titan Power to me definitely indicates that there's some new players. Um, yeah, pretty sure. I've also never seen this flag in my life. Fearless. And these guys are not even ranked. And there's only 14 of them. So maybe we have a brand new guild moving to our server. Fair enough. I always like more competition. Also, they typically don't stay very long because they have a lot of money. They get bored real quick. And usually those teams have all maxed out everything. So, Renee, all I got to say is stick with it. Even if you get beaten up a couple of times by those stronger players, they're not going to stick around. A lot of players don't. A lot of players that spend a lot of money typically don't stay on lower servers very long. They get bored super fast. They want more quote unquote competition. They want to see different things. They won't stick around. That's just my hot take. I don't know if that's true or not, but from my experience, it's been true. I can't say what will happen on yours, but on my server, that's definitely happened once or twice where we had a guild completely just maxed out everything. All their heroes are maxed out. All their titans were maxed out, and they just beat everybody. They had perfect scores across the board, and they got bored after like 3 weeks and left. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much if I'm being honest. Um, but yeah, that's really my thoughts on that. And so unknown, I realized that I only showed you one team there with a Kark. Let me see if I can find another combination that might work for you. And the biggest issue is Corvus, and this the reason that that's a very good team is it counters a lot of different looks. And let me just finish climbing this tower real quick. So Corvus counters most critical hit damage users, which is Yasmin, Kira, specifically, right, which are two major damage dealers. And then you have Dante, who is a very strong physical attacker. And then you have Sebastian, one of the best, heroes in the game, in my opinion, on Facebook and web. And then you have Isaac, who really prevents Orion from being very, very useful. So ODH combo is immediately out. So you're really kind of boxed into using a team like the one that I showed you. Jew is also out because of his ability to use critical hit. I guess I would consider using a team with like Galahad maybe. And against a team like this, you might have to go very top heavy. And what I mean by that is more tanks. So I would probably look at something like Galahad, Ishmael maybe. Or Qingmao. I don't know. I really like Galahad for this matchup. And let me see if I can find Galahad. Where is... Nope, not there. Not there. Ishmael, there we go. Galahad, Ishmael. We want a lot of healing. We want Nebula, and we definitely, in my opinion, want Martha. And where does Dorian fall on this scale? Let's see if I can get Dorian behind Ishmael. Martha. Maybe I'll put in Helios. See how this goes. This is a very interesting team. My biggest concern is Ishmael might get knocked out too early, and if that happens, then Astaroth is a better use. But I really like Galahad against teams that use Corvus because Corvus doesn't have high defense capabilities, and Vampirism on Galahad is usually pretty good. Yeah, hey Renee, all I gotta say is, just hang in there. I know it's probably gonna be a little bit rough in the beginning, but ultimately those guys will leave. And I think Hero Wars for me has shown that players who stick around and stick with the game tend to do better in the long run. Just my hot take. If Hero Wars wants more activity in the game, they need to start having a deadline option. The deadline option is guilds get a percentage based on activity, and inactivity in the guild would be disbanded. I think that's fair enough. I'm not going to dispute that. I think that's an interesting take. Galahad sucks. Jorgen counters him. Galahad only does good for himself, not for any teammates. I hear you. I hear you. And he got taken out there. Hi, Coco. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much for the support. And I always, Coco has a great channel as well, Hero Wars Secrets. He always has some very good, hard takes, in my opinion. I'm a big fan. I don't know if you guys, it seems like a lot of you guys know him too, so that's awesome. And thanks for stopping in, Coco. It means a lot. Teams as a whole or the Guildmaster booting players off the team so they know who they can put within the server. Fair enough. Classic Kark team destroys Corvus. Yeah, I agree. Kark is really the answer here. I'm just trying to find alternatives, and I think Ishmael. And the tough thing is, when I like Ishmael, I also like Jet. And so when I like Jet, it really limits because a lot of players don't have the capability of having an absolute Jet. So I'm very hesitant to use that type of a team. Let me see what I can do with... I don't want to use Kark because I know Kark can win. But I want to use a different alternative team that maybe players who have only the the most base level heroes can still use to still win a fight against this team. Ching Mao is one of my favorite heroes. Love Ching Mao. Um, I want to use Galahad, but I think Astaroth might be better in this situation. And the tough thing is Jorgen's neglect or blocked out by Sebastian. So this team has a lot of counters to most of the good teams, right? So it can be very difficult to overcome. I man, I love Satori as a counter hero. The issue is Sebastian nullifies those marks that he places, so it makes it a lot more difficult. Galahad will trigger 2. His AoE damage will be returned by Corvus Totem. I think that's fair enough. Yeah, no, you're right. I did see that. I enjoy many, if not all, your videos. Happy to join your stream finally. Not so easy from Europe. It's 3:25. Wow. Thank you for sticking around. I won't go too long, Coco, but one thing you should probably know you missed a little bit was I think we'll be having an April Fool's event next week. 3 new masquerade skins is what I think we will see next week. I'll definitely be making a future video on that as well as the 3 heroes that have those new masquerade skins will probably be featured, very similar to the spring event that we had, where we had 3 heroines. We had Ziri, Arachne, and Daredevil. So just a heads up, try Ju with Sebastian. The issue with Ju is Ju's going to get hit pretty hard. I almost want to use Mojo. But sure, we can try Ju. I mean, I think Ju will get hit pretty hard by Corvus. But if we can take Corvus out early with Ching Mao, that could definitely be a factor. We'll try it out. Why not? We'll go with it. So ready to show off my Go Teen Titan Go squadrons. I can't wait to see it. So once you're done with that, Onegro, please post that in the Titan section on my Discord. I'd love to see your progress. So if you can take a screenshot of before and after, that would be sick. I would love to see that. I'd love to absolutely see that. And I know you've been working on those Earth Titans, so I definitely think that that could be awesome for you. So Ching Mao was able to get rid of Corvus, which is huge because now Ju is able to do his thing, but Dante is seriously dodging like crazy right now. And Sebastian just really helping him out. I think Kark might be the best option here. I think Kark is the best option. It's just really hard to find a great solution to this team without running into a lot of hard counters. I probably would put in Invari. I'm trying to think of unique teams that, you know, a lot of players would have the heroes for. And, of course, that happens. Okay. I don't know why. I just really want to use Mojo. So I'm going to put him in. We might get slapped because of that, but it's for fun. And I'm more than happy to take some other comments as well, but I definitely think that the way to go here is just to simply stick with a Kark team. Kark is kind of like the solution to Corvus because Corvus doesn't deal mad damage to him, and Dante, with enough flips, he can't dodge that many attacks, and that also avoids any issues with Isaac because Isaac neglects or is basically a good counter to anything that's magic. So I definitely think Kark is the solution here, and I mean, I'm open to looking to alternative solutions here. Can I give a tip to win with Heidi? Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. Give me a tip with Heidi. I mean, I personally don't use Heidi enough to know when she's best, so go for it. I don't think ODH will be great here because Orion is countered by Sebastian. I'll try it though. And yeah, Coco, feel more than free to give me any tips that you want on this team. I personally have not seen this team very often, so I'll have more info for you guys on this exact team next week. But I definitely think Kark seems to be the best option here. But I'll try your team out, Brian. You want to see the ODH combo. So there's Helios, Dorian, Orion right here. And we have Nebula and Astaroth. So Nebula's right here. And we have Astaroth right here as well. So we'll go ahead and try it, but I definitely think it'll be close. We'll see. Corvus is a toughie. The key I think here is to choose single target hitter like Elmir and Ishmael. I definitely think Ishmael can do it. You just need to use the right. You need to use Jet, and I think the problem with Jet is a lot of players don't have the capability of getting absolute Jet super quick. So it makes it like very difficult to advocate that team because I don't want to, put people in a situation where if they're using Ishmael, they have to invest in Soul Stones in, in Jet. It's tough. It's a tough call. Also, I don't know why it just went to quarter speed. Come on now. So we had the silence there by Isaac. Orion's about to go off, which is good. Orion's not doing as bad as I thought he would be doing. Isaac is usually a little bit better at quieting him down. Oof. There we go. Once Orion's down, it's going to be a tough matchup from there. And Dante has, his rework really makes him super strong, I got to say. Kira with Envari and Sebastian. So I'm going to try Renee's, and then I will try Coco's. So I see you. I'm going to get to you. So Kira, Envari, and Seb. I think Kira's just not a great option because of Corvus, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. So I'm going to use Martha, Envari. Envari past him. Envari and Sebastian. I already grabbed him. Okay. So I guess we would probably want like maybe Nebula or Chimao. Do you want Nebula or Chimao? What do you prefer? I guess I can go with Nebula, and then I will try Coco's, and then we can go back to Renee's with a different, couple other heroes if we want. Hey, E. Nathan, nice to have you here. I appreciate you stopping in for the stream. Means a lot. I love having all you guys here. Kira is bad against Corvus, really bad. Yeah, I agree because of this skill right here. Just really takes Kira out of the fight really fast. Yeah, so it's just really rough on that portion with Corvus. So we'll try out Coco's team real quick. All right, so Aurora, one of my favorite heroes right now. I mean, really only has one counter that I'm aware of. Let's see, Aurora. Let me find her. Aurora, Heidi. Heidi's actually a lot better. I mean, with the new magic attack skin that she got, really good. And Heidi's a female. I always thought Heidi was a guy for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was a snake. I don't know. Maybe it's a snake that Heidi holds. Heidi, Leanne. Leanne. Where's the other one? Leanne, Sebastian, and Dorian. I will say the tough thing with this team that I'm seeing already is that there's so much magic attack going on here. But it's possible. I mean, Heidi has great dodge capabilities, heightened with the fact that Aurora has a lot of dodge abilities. So if they can stay away from Dante, there's a chance. We'll see how Leanne's abilities kick in and see if it really can contain them. The big issue is going to be taking out Isaac, in my opinion. We'll see. What happened? Okay, so Aurora's doing great so far. Dodged a couple of basic attacks from Corvus there. We're not really getting hit much by the tower, which is good. But here Aurora is starting to get hit quite a fair bit here. Dante is taking a good amount of damage. And that is his main damage dealer. Dante went down. It's looking pretty effective so far, Coco. I like it. I definitely like Heidi, generally speaking, though. So nice, Heidi coming in clutch right now, doing some major damage with those spores. So Heidi has a poison skill that deals damage over time, and the longer a matchup goes on, Heidi just destroys destroys people. Now let's see if we can finish it off here. I'm gonna speed it up because it's only one hero. But I guess this is also where you can pets might play a factor as well. Maybe if you had a different pet attached or something like that, it would make a huge difference. I mean, ultimately we get timed out there, but I think with pets, we could potentially win with that team. Uh, so I like that. I like Heidi a lot. I think Heidi's underrated. On my tier list, you'll see a massive jump. She was, I think, F tier for a long time, so she's a lot better. Um, Heidi's a guy, really? Why did I thought Heidi was a guy, but then someone told me, wow, maybe I'm all over the place. Let me double check. I thought someone told me Heidi was a female, and then I got surprised and I checked it out. Heidi's a guy. Now I don't. Now I'm confused. I need to double check. Um, how do I know if Heidi's a guy or not? For some reason, I thought it used to say here like he or she, and now I'm not seeing anything. Can someone? Hey Jay, what pets do I use with this team? Aurora, Sebastian, Twin, Celeste. I personally like to use Kane, but I've also seen Axel be very effective. So it depends. I think Kane's better for offense, and I think Axel is better for defense purposes. I don't know. That's what I use. I personally use Kane 95% of the time because my Kane's stronger than my Axel, but that's what I do. I use Kane. Heidi is a she. Now we've got divided opinions on this. Maybe it says on mobile. Maybe that's why I thought something was up. But it's possible that they changed the genders on mobile and Facebook. Let me check real quick on mobile. Heidi stats. Nope, doesn't say. All right, I don't know. I don't know if it's a guy or girl. I don't know. The snake always throws me off, though. I will say. Fourth skill says it's a he. Okay, okay. So Coco's got the answer here. This is good. This is good. He. There we go. Good eye, Coco. It is a guy. It is not a female. So here you can see if Heidi isn't damaged for a few seconds, he receives camouflage that gradually increases his chance of dodging an enemy's attack. So Coco with the answer there. Shout out Hero War Secrets. Just saying, if you guys haven't checked out his vids, he has some good stuff. Just saying. Um, so shout out. All right. Yeah, so Heidi is a he. Okay. Sorry to disappoint you, Coco, but she's a she. Yeah, someone definitely told. I mean, I originally thought Heidi was a she as well because of the name, but yeah, I think that skill definitely kind of told me that it wasn't a she. So there was the proof. I knew there was something there. I just didn't remember what it was. So I'm glad we had someone know a lot more about Heidi than I do. I'm still learning about Heidi. Heidi's rework really threw me off because I wasn't ready for it. My bad. But okay. So I'm gonna try to find a different combo here because I just don't like not knowing. Um, Maybe we go with Chaba. Maybe. And then we go with where's Heidi at? Heidi seemed to do pretty good. Chaba, Heidi. Maybe we use Aurora as well. Um, I definitely want to try an Ishmael team too, but I want to try this first just because I really liked Heidi, and I don't want to get off that trail. I like Celeste. We could try Dorian as well, but I would. Yeah, we'll try Dorian. All right, we'll try this team. Maybe I'll get slaughtered just for fun. Okay. No, no woman's got that much hair like Heidi. I'm sorry, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. I have no words. You left me speechless. What pets do I use with this team? Aurora, Sebastian, Twin Celeste. What I mean is what patronage for each. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to double check, but I'm pretty sure Albus goes on to Sebastian. Kane goes with Aurora. Celeste. I want to say is Axel. Then I think now I'm not sure if it's Fenrir. No, Merlin and Mara. Merlin and Mara are the other two, but I don't remember which one goes on Lars and which one goes on Krista. Once I look at them, I'll know for sure. Okay, so this team seems to potentially solve an issue that we were having. And guys, I've been personally sleeping on Chaba myself. I think Chaba's pretty good. I think I don't know if Chaba's improved or what, but this team's doing pretty good so far, guys. Just saying, because I think Chaba was able to take out Corvus, which was a huge threat, right? Because Corvus has that ability to basically take out a. I mean, let me look at this with a damage dealer that is, Yasmin, or even Kira. I mean, we'll use Yasmin for this purposes because Yasmin deals more damage quicker. But let's throw in Aurora and Chaba. So I think Chaba might be a solution to this because Corvus is a very annoying hero, in the fact that he takes out, critical hit dealers. Critical hit damage dealers. Ooh, that's a mouthful. But okay, let's go back. Let's go Chaba. Where are you at, Chaba? Not used to using Chaba, so that throws me off as well. We will go with Martha, and we will go with. We could go with Heidi again. I like Heidi. Why not? I was gonna say Dorian, but I think with Yasmin moving around, doesn't make sense to. I mean, then Yasmin gets no healing. It'd be easier with pets, but it's okay. We'll try it out. Heidi is a reincarnation of the Monkey King, especially with his new skin. Yeah, I actually like Heidi. I think the magic attack skin that Heidi just got put Heidi over the edge of being like an average tier hero to actually a decent damage dealer. Just needs enough time to be left alone, right? So Aurora plus Heidi, in my opinion, major threat. So Chaba was not fast enough to take out Corvus, but Chaba is still good enough to help compensate so that Heidi can deal damage here with Aurora as well. And I think with a pet, this thing's over. Like Kane would have so many daggers coming out with the amount of dodge these two alone produce, and we still won. So I think Chaba was the ultimate factor here that might help you out, guys. Just saying. Now with that problem solved, what problem should we solve next? I think Heidi's a great hero. I still have to learn more about where he is best. I agree. Hey Jay, what do you think of Corvus, Morgan, Kira, Phobos, and a Thea team? So this is very similar to the Undead team that is on mobile. But let's check it out. It's not the exact same team, I don't think, because Thea is not a part of that team. Faceless is. So you've got Kira, you've got Phobos. Oh, no, that's not Thea. That's Aurora, Thea, and Phobos. So you like this team. We'll check it out. And for these guys, what do I think about it? So looking at it, I'm very concerned about physical attack teams. Specifically Kark, because Kark just seems to be a big threat. I also think the Twins would be a very bad matchup. I think this is a great against Kira as well as Yasmin teams, if that's what your focus is on. I think you will do well against Jew teams as well. But I do think that the Twins will present a problem. And we can test it out. So this is like my go-to team. This is the team that I use on my newer account. And if I had it to do over again, this is probably the team that I'd run first. But I have no regrets with my card team, so I can't really say that many bad things about it. But here we go. Elmir, Nebula, Daredevil, Sebastian, Dorian will crush it. I'll try that out next. Coco, you like Elmir a lot. Heidi needs Albus to have super pure damage. I'm sure you're right. I'm playing him on my mobile baby account now. Yeah, mobile is very different from Facebook and web. Let me just say, a lot of the skills are very different. Great hero, but you can lose and win same time. Did we just lose? I was not paying attention. So we probably lost because I. So we did lose, just barely. Okay, so it might hold out against the Twins team. That's good to know. What about a Twins team that uses Astaroth instead of Aurora? Mm-hmm. We'll use. I mean, I feel like Jorgen would be unfair advantage, so I'm not going to use Jorgen. I'm going to use Nebula. Yeah, right now on mobile, I actually use. So my main team uses Astaroth, the Twins. I have Kira in the middle of the Twins, and I have Dorian at the very end. I think ultimately I will want to put in Jorgen for my Kira, but I have so much invested in Kira in terms of like she's pretty much done that I don't want to take her out yet, so I won't. But yeah, huh? This team's actually better than I expected. Honestly, I'll be honest. Um, I thought this team would be done faster. Okay, well, we're gonna try out. We're gonna try out a Kark team. I just think Kark is the best solution to any issues with Corvus. Chaba is also good. I've seen Chaba be very effective. Let's go ahead and use this. We're gonna use Faceless. We're gonna go Neb. Where's Nebula at? Neb and Martha. We'll try this. I think using Jorgen would be unfair when you don't have it. I think Jorgen's an instant like game changer, but we'll see. Okay. AoE damage not good against Corvus. Ooh, Kirk got taken down there. Okay. I guess in that case you will need to resort to using a Jorgen. I'm going to try it one more time. I will go back to your team, Coco. I didn't forget. I'll go back on that other one. I just wanted to test out this team real quick with. So this is my go-to, like if I need straight damage and I want it fast, I usually use this team. So I'll use Sebastian and Jorgen and I'll stack them, which is kind of unfair, but kind of effective. What pets do I use with this team? Aurora, Sebastian, Twin, Celeste of each hero patron. I can go back to that, but I definitely feel like I answered that, but maybe I didn't. I'll get to you in a sec. Promise, E. Nathan. I promise I'll get to you. But yeah, here you go. This team does it. But that's a lot of damage coming at you fast. So this is like a last resort a last resort team that I use with my cart team. And basically I stack up Jorgen and Sebastian and I have Faceless to either copy Kark or Jorgen. And this team deals mad damage. Just saying. So this is the team I would use to counter this, but this is actually a very good team too. I like it. It's a little unconventional. And Thea Silence, I think, plays a lot more of a role than you'd expect. Phobos, with his improvement, not a bad choice. Kira deals some good damage with her basic attacks, which is nice. And Corvus and Morgan, not so bad. I definitely think if Corvus gets one more defensive based skin, right? So whether it's defense or it's magic defense, I think those would put Corvus into a god level or S level tier. I think right now, where it stands, these are A level heroes. Just because you still need a lot of heroes in addition to them. Like Isaac was used to overcompensate for Corvus's issues, and Sebastian as well, right? In that other team, the Dante one. Um, and here I'm going to go ahead and use Coco's team, and then I will get to E. Nathan's question. So let's go ahead and look at this team that we were talking about earlier. Coco said he wants to see Elmir. Let's see. Let's see. Elmir, Nebula. Elmir, Daredevil. I like Daredevil too. I think Daredevil's still underrated, even though not as good as on mobile. Let's see. Daredevil, Sebastian, and Dorian. Okay, so Dorian and Sebastian. I don't dislike this team. My biggest issue with it, though, is Dorian's super hard to get. Like, I always try to promote teams that are easier. Well, I mean, I say easier, but maybe you don't have to get so much luck. Like, I mean, people who got Cleaver from the Christmas event got him pretty much for free. So I think that's one solution. And this is very interesting because Elmir now is in the back, and so you're basically tanking with Nebula. I've never seen that before. But it does look like it's doing decent. Elmir got taken out, but Corvus is down as well. And Nebula just took out Sebastian, and Daredevil took down both. I mean, that was crazy. That was a good matchup. That's a good suggestion, Coco. I like that team. We'll take a quick look at it again. So the team is breaking. Oh, that's not what we're talking about. Talk about this one. And this team here. So I want to see a breakdown. Daredevil did a lot of damage. It did take a while for Daredevil to get going. So Elmir kind of was able to buy enough time for his team to have Daredevil go to work. Sebastian did a lot more damage than I expected. Interesting. Don't know how. Interesting that Sebastian dealt that much damage. Damage taken. Looks like it was pretty evenly distributed. Healing. Daredevil got a lot of healing because they were next to Dorian. Makes sense. Solid team there. So that is another option for players looking to basically counter this lineup. I think Dorian's cool. Just hard to obtain. It's my hot take. If it's even a hot take, I don't know. That's my opinion. Okay. So we're gonna get to your question right now, Nathan. What pets do you want to use when you have this team? So I'll talk about it right now. I know with Aurora I like Kane, and the reason I like Kane is because Kane amplifies that dodge ability, if I remember correctly, off the top of my head. So we'll go ahead and take a look right now. And let's see. So we got Aurora here with Kane. And the reason with Kane is this Dark Patronage skill, if I remember right, Dark Patron. Bonus energy. Master gains bonus energy for each successful dodge, meaning the more dodges you do, more energy you get. And I believe there was a mathematical breakdown where for every 2 dodges, Aurora was getting a full charge. I need to double check that. And that was expecting Kane to be absolute and maxed out. So I wouldn't have that same ability, but Kane with Aurora, right, Nathan? So Kane with Aurora. Then I would do Merlin, right? So Merlin gives skill speed. So I have Merlin on Lars, but I actually think on my other account, maybe we should just hop over to my other account real quick. All right, so this will probably be the last question that I answer. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my other account on server 51 because I actually do use that exact lineup that Nathan is talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to 51 real quick. So bear with me here. I'm going to be just refreshing my page here. But I don't want to be wrong here, and I know that team I optimized to be using those pets, and I know I had a good reason. So once I look at them, I'll be able to tell you exactly why. And I don't have my notes in front of me on this team, but I know that I did a lot of research on it, and I spent more time than I'd like to admit outfitting those pets. What's my insight on the new mobile hero? I'm working on a video right now, but it should be very interesting. Tristan is going to be support hero, mid to back line, I believe. I'm intrigued to see what kind of damage he can do because I think Got to double check. I think they were saying rumor mill was talking about some damage from Tristan, but I'm gonna have to do a little more research. I'll get back to you. I'm working on a vid, promise. My Hero Wars Gold Guild is asking me for a video as well, so I'm working on it. I promise it will be dropped, and I will put it on my Discord as well. So here we are on my Area 51 account, right? My baby account. I started this one up this year, but here you can see I have Kane. So Kane I have set up with Aurora, as I said, right? Makes sense with this bonus physical energy given to Aurora per dodge. So Krista is the one that I have hooked up with Merlin. More magic attack and more magic penetration. Krista actually deals a lot of damage. The only issue is you don't want Krista getting hit, because when Krista gets hit, she freezes herself to protect herself. Can be a major annoyance in my opinion. And I have Mara attached to Lars. The reason I have that is because I want the magic attack bonus for Lars. I considered putting Krista on for the extra magic penetration to Lars, but Lars needs more defense. So for me, I put magic defense on Lars. This allows him to basically sustain more damage from like maybe an Orion. So basically, I'm protecting myself from ODH teams. It would be nice if this was also defense, because then I could protect myself better from Yasmin going to the back part of my line and just hitting Lars. But usually Krista can keep Yasmin busy. And then I'm working on an Axel for Celeste. And part of that is I don't want Celeste getting knocked out too early, but this gives armor plus magic attack, and Celeste is big with magic attack, so that will help both her healing as well as her basic attack and her skills. And then this bonus skill, once I'm able to unlock it, will basically limit the amount of damage Celeste can take from a single hit, if I remember this right. Axel always gives my computer issues. Don't know why. Albus, I just put him on Sebastian. Just seems to have, physical attack is something I think Sebastian uses. And I want to say the increase in pure damage, very helpful. Also amplifies his abilities when it comes to helping out the rest of my team. So I think Fenris doesn't really do too much. And Oliver is okay, but I like Axel a little better. And for the purposes of attacking, I like Kane, because Kane has Night Fang. So because of the amount of dodge, right, Kane gets more damage that he can deal based off of the dodge that Aurora provides, and Invisible Mastery. So this increases dodge for the entire team. It's also why a lot of people who use Kane have dodge heavy teams, but those are what I use for my Aurora, Twins, Celeste, and Sebastian team. So I hope that answers your question there, E. Nathan. Let me know if it doesn't. I can definitely go into that a little bit more. I got Dorian Absolute Star, but he is so weak as I can't fill up all my Absolute Heroes with glyphs, artifacts. It's impossible to keep up. Renee, I think, you got a common problem there. That's what we all, we're on the same boat. It's really hard to get everyone to a level you can use them. So I hope that kind of answers everything there. Hi, Bass. I apologize in advance. I'm about to end my stream, and I apologize, Bass. But I'll give you a quick rundown. So far, we were talking about what did we talk about? We talked about next week. We're expecting an event with 3 brand new heroes. Well, not brand new heroes. 3 heroes that we have. Those heroes will be promoted, and they'll have 3 masquerade skins. Also, we talked about this event. We really like it overall. And server merge is coming up tonight. So if you're on a server that could affect, just be on alert. Other than that, we messed around with some teams and stuff like that. Thank you for stopping in. I apologize for me having to cut the stream right around now. But thank you for coming in. I really appreciate the support. Coco, thank you for stopping in. Everyone else, E, Nathan, Oo Negro, right? Renee, Gary, just to name a few. Surprise was here, right? We had SS Wally, Unknown Artist, right? Ionis. We had a lot of people come through. We had Melissa in here at one point, I know. We had, I hate to just go through everyone else, but we just had, Ben. We just had so many people come through. Reflection was here. Mr. Ben Zardi was here. just thank you so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. Um, and with that being said, I'm probably gonna end this live stream right now. But I just want to thank you guys for making this a great environment, and just having the free time to hang out with me on this live stream, making it such a fun and cool environment. I hope I can see you guys all next week. And with that being said, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you all